Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk to you about how I know I ovulate. So if you are unaware, I have endometriosis, which is a disease. You have uterine tissue outside of the uterus, and it causes so much pain. When you are on your period, you get cramps intensely, and when you are ovulating, you can also get cramps in your ovaries. So they're called flare-ups, and what really happens during ovulation is your ovary expands. This is crazy because I can actually feel my ovaries. It's the weirdest thing. Braden has felt them too. If I'm ovulating, I know when I'm ovulating. So I got a ton of questions as to why I thought I might have been pregnant this month. And that's because, so my period usually lasts about 5 to 6 days. So my period usually goes 5 to 6 days. And I thought that this last month I had ovulated on day 8, which would have been 3 days after my period had ended. Because I felt those twinges and like I was ovulating, and it was very painful. I have actually gotten these a couple times. So I want to kind of go back a little bit. We started trying for our baby number 2 in May of 2018. We stopped trying in December, technically January of 2018. I got on birth control in January, and as most of you know, if you go on birth control, you're not really protected for like the first couple days. So that's why I kind of consider 8 months instead of 7 months of trying. Anyway, so I got on birth control in January, and I got off of birth control in March, I want to say. So I've been off birth control for 2 months now, and this was my second month. And if I'm remembering right, which I am, when we started trying for Victoria, we tried for 2 months before we got pregnant. And when we tried for my daughter, I remember like my periods and ovulation hitting me full on. And literally the last month that we tried for Victoria and we got pregnant, I literally said, if I'm not pregnant this month, I'm getting back on birth control because I can't handle this. And I think that it's the birth control that actually caused this. And that's what I say in my other video. Because with birth control, it literally stops you from ovulating. So I'm thinking that like once you don't ovulate for a certain amount of time, your body gets pent up rage essentially. And your ovaries are like, I'm trying to ovulate, but it won't let you. And so once you get off that birth control, it just like goes full force. And so that's what I think really sucks about it. I've been kind of getting twinges even on birth control because my ovaries were trying to ovulate and they couldn't. So this second month that I was actually off of birth control, we're not trying for a baby, by the way. I just don't like birth control. It's so we are actually using natural family planning for our birth control for the time being because I don't feel like getting on birth control and my body. If you have seen my TTC journey for the past 8 months, for the 8 months that we started trying for the past year, then you guys know that I've had a little discouragement of the IUD, thinking that the IUD kind of messed up my fertility a little bit. So I just really don't want to be on that right now. I don't want to mess with anything that when we start trying, I can't get pregnant. So this past month on day 8 of my cycle, I had gotten some really bad cramps in my ovaries, and it was kind of like the cramps that I usually get during my ovulation. Now, right after my period, I was like, it's the safe zone. We can have sex. We can do whatever and not really worry about it. Bad idea. Don't do that. I don't actually have ovulation tests because it's like clockwork for me. I usually ovulate on day 13 or 14 of my cycle, and it was day 8. Like it wasn't even close to when I was supposed to even be in my fertile window at all. So on day 8, I got those twinges and I was like, so that entire next week, I was waiting to ovulate, making sure that that was it. And I was out of my fertile window that I was supposed to be in. And I was like, okay, I think that might have been my ovulation. We're kind of screwed anyway because we didn't use protection at all. We don't want to use protection, just saying. And then I'm out of my fertile window that I was supposed to be in the first place, and I was like, we're good to go. So we didn't use protection, and the very next day I ovulated. Like, it was for sure ovulation, because oh my god, it hit me like a truck. It hit me like a truck. And I was sitting on the couch all day long with the heating pad because I physically couldn't move. Like, even ask Brayden, I was literally sitting there going, oh, like, it literally feels like you're in labor, but in your ovaries, and it sucks. If you have endometriosis, you know what this feels like. It really just is terrible. So yeah, I think that I may just be screwed, because that ovulation was stronger than I've ever felt it. Like, I don't even think that when we tried for Victoria it was that strong. So I either had a really good egg, it was just the birth control that caused it, or I ovulated 2 eggs. And you guys know, if you've been watching my TTC journey, that you know I already ovulated with 2 eggs last October. I'm pretty sure I am ovulating on both sides. If you don't know what that means that I would ovulate with twins. I will link that video up top if you have not seen it. I ovulated last year with 2 eggs on both sides. Obviously you can ovulate on one side with 2 eggs, so that's why I don't know if it was 2 eggs, but last year it was definitely 2 eggs, because if you guys go back and watch that video, which go watch that after this because it's very interesting, because I've never had that happen before. So it's kind of interesting that literally within 1 year that I've had that happen twice, whereas in 21 years I hadn't had that happen. So it's kind of crazy that way, but it's very strong. In fact, nothing makes it go away. If you have endometriosis, you know what this feels like when you are literally stuck. You're physically stuck because nothing works. I have tried everything in the book to make it work, or make it stop and make it just go away, and nothing works. The only thing that I found that actually helps is heating pads, and I literally have to sit there with a heating pad for hours until it's done. So it sucks. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was interesting to you, and I will talk to you in my next one. Bye guys.
Maybe I shouldn't call you or leave a message at all. So I'll try to be patient, 'cause nothing's written on the wall. Yeah, it's too soon.